Welcome to the world of GTOs. The following training programs have been devised in response to a training need, particularly the needs on non-metropolitan-based printers that are removed from the supplier support backup. It's also for those printers who have no ready access to college or other training facilities. The unit selected for this program is the Heidelberg GTO, so selected because of its popularity with the Australian printer. The series constitutes a structured and comprehensive training program on press operations. The first program, Lubrication and Maintenance, is an ideal starting point because we must be capable of caring for the considerable investment that the GTO represents. It's only then that we can proceed to subsequent training programs that will maximize the productivity and quality capacity of this press. It's marvelous to consider that people often invest a large sum of money on a press and then proceed to neglect lubrication and maintenance. Printers all agree that there should be a maintenance and lubrication program operating on a regular basis. Too often, however, production pressures relegate lubrication and maintenance to the "we'll do it when we get a chance" level. They'll get a chance all right when neglect finally takes its toll and the press malfunctions. There'll be plenty of time to lubricate it while customers are kept waiting and engineers frantically order expensive parts. The foolishness of not setting aside a weekly period for press maintenance becomes apparent. Now let's begin. Firstly, turn on the main switch located low on the operations side of the press. Disengage the red latch on the crank handle high on the drive side. Now the press can be cranked over by hand so that maintenance operation can occur. Don't try to crank it over without power, otherwise the electromagnetic brake on the motor will prevent any movement of the press. The air filtration system. Where air is drawn by suction into the pump and expelled in sheet separation, it's clear that airborne particles, such as paper particles and anti-set-off spray, must be trapped before they abrade and wear moving parts. The seal existing between the piston and cylinder in the pump is an example of how grit can cause wear, reducing pump efficiency. Air filters provide this entrapment function. On the GTO, there are two main filters. The filter at the top of the pump cleans air that has been drawn in from the sucker bar. Removal is simply by unscrewing the filter. Known as the paper filter, it must be cleaned once a week, more often even daily, if fluffy, particle-laden paper such as newsprint or coaster board is used, or if heavy anti-set-off spray settings are used. The cleaning method is simple. The filter is thoroughly washed out in solvent. An economical but effective use of solvent is demonstrated here. Ensure that the filter is thoroughly dried before being reinstalled in the press. The use of compressed air is one way of achieving this. The filter is then checked and reinstalled. The second main filter, known as the air filter, is located at the lower end of the pump cylinder and should be cleaned weekly. The method of cleaning is identical to that used on the paper filter. It should be remembered that failure to observe this simple practice, particularly with the paper filter, will promote wear in the pump and clog the air passages. In both cases, reduction of suction and air blast result with consequent misfeeding of the sheets. GTO has a central lubrication system that removes much of the searching for lubrication points. Central lubrication is activated by pushing down the lever with the red ball twice. When operating the manual lever system, some resistance should be felt. This indicates oil pressure within the lines. Usually, lack of resistance to the downward action denotes no oil or low oil in the system. Central lubrication will provide the correct amount of lubrication to the major areas of the press. During production, central lubrication must be operated twice every 4 hours to maintain the oil film so vital to press life. On multicolour GTOs, this manual operation is replaced by a lubrication button. You press the button and wait for the oil surge in the transparent glass bubble. This yellow line on the transparent oil filler indicates the minimum oil level for both manual and electrical systems. Be sure to use high-grade machine oil with a viscosity rating between 10 and 12 degrees at 50 degrees Celsius, as recommended by Heidelberg. Failure to do so will void your warranty. Although central lubrication attends to most parts of the press, there are other areas that can't be reached by the central system. No less vital, these areas must be lubricated by hand. The frequency of lubrication is denoted by a colour code. Any lubrication point marked in yellow requires lubrication every week. Blue markings denote monthly lubrication, while green indicates lubrication every 3 months. Don't forget the lubrication points beneath the feedboard. Most bearings are lubricated with grease. They have recessed nipples and fit the male grease gun with the long stem. Other bearings are lubricated with the oil can or oil gun. Oil gun nipples are protruding and are fed by the black oil gun with the recessed tip. Don't forget the 3-monthly oil lubrication point in the pump piston. To reach this point, move the press until the piston is at top dead center. Remove the green bolt immediately below and to the left of the paper filter at the pump cylinder head, and you have access to this oiling point.